here's one of the big topics that I want to talk about with you guys is, how to get piping hot leads. Everybody's going in here doing all these different things, and you want to know everybody has a problem with their funnel, with their conversion, what's happening, what's going on. So it's a really big deal. Or what's next, right? How do you know what's next for you? What are you doing? So today, I'm going to give you some things that no matter where you're at, whether you're looking to do organic or you're looking to do some paid, which you should be doing both, all these things you should do, but there'll be some actionable things that you can do. Here's the big thing with all this. Remember, a lot of people go in there, do it, and we've been building out more and more robust. You need to have an operating system, right? And in your operating system, marketing is a piece of it. In your operating system, there should be a piece of it that's allowing for you to get leads, right? So the thing is whether you're doing it right now or you're looking to take it to the next level, now is the time to go ahead and to come up with a plan. So part of your whole operating system, you should have a marketing plan, right? You should know what that is. And sometimes it's really simple. Part of that marketing plan is once we've optimized our current level of marketing, one, how do we optimize our current level of marketing? But two, once we do that, how are we going to go ahead and what's next, right? So that's what I'm going to share with you today. Hey guys, how you doing? My name's Joey Batista. I'm an active 9-figure entrepreneur. Listen, inside this video, I'm going to share with you the tips and tricks, the real life examples that I use growing and scaling companies today. Listen, I'm not an influencer. I'm an entrepreneur with a passion for sharing what I've learned over the last 3 decades. And it's a privilege for me to share it with you here today. Here's the thing. I had a buddy of mine reach out for me, and he's like, hey, I want to buy these businesses, right? And there's 3,000 of these type business owners in a certain demographic. He's like, and I'm having a really hard time getting contact with them. He's like, well, what do I need to do? He's like, I need to build a team. I already put out spiffs. I'm going to pay $10,000 a deal. I'm working with my team. And I'm like, listen, man, there's a much easier way to do this. I want to share with you how something can change in an instant, right? In an instant, it can change. I said, how many businesses do you need to buy? He said 3. I said, okay, great. And there's 3,000 leads and you need to buy 3. He said, okay. I said, the people that you're paying $10,000 to, they're not going to get the job done. They're going to call 10, 15, 20 people. They're going to give up. They're going to quit. It's just the game. That's how it works. That's what it is. And I'm only sharing this with you because I want you to think outside the box. I said, listen, what you need to do is go ahead and send all 3,000 of those a certified letter and stating, hey, I want to buy said business for up to, let's just say $1 million. Let's say the businesses in the market are only worth $500,000. Said, look, for a great business, it's a superstar status. So you send them a letter, say, I'll go up to $1 million. People see it, they get excited, boom, they reach out, you got the lead. Now you're like, well, why would I do that? Well, it's really simple. Certified mail for 3,000 people would maybe cost you, I don't know, 10, 12, 13, 12, 5, something like that. Quick swag number. Don't hold me to it. But the reality is you want to collapse time and speed. I said, you're going to get so many leads you're not even going to know what to do with, and you're going to keep your pipeline full for even after you have these 3 deals. Because obviously, not only are you going to have these 3 deals, but now you're also going to have a whole pipeline of people that you're going to get to throw numbers at, that when business becomes challenging, as it always does, anybody who picks up the phone in this case, it's like somebody else. They reach out to you for a good or service. They're going to transact. It's just whether or not they transact with you. So my point is going in there and reversing this around. You go in and you deliver the certified letter. The person that you want to get to reaches out to you. Boom, there's nothing to do. You just write an aggressive letter with an aggressive offer with an up to, and now you generated leads. So to me, that's going to fall in, and I'll show you that's a category I'm going to talk about later, but I'm going to show you how you can have an unconventional approach in the modern world and get massive results. The reality is business owners don't answer cold calls. If you called one of my companies, you would not get a hold of me. You just wouldn't. You get a hold of me through here, you'll get a hold of me other places, but you're not going to get a hold of me. I have a team in place that handles that. It's just not going to happen. However, if you send me a certified letter, it will make it to my desk. If you send me regular mail, it will not. So my point is just think about that. I want you to think about that in every one of these things that we talk about. So, we come in, we talk about guerrilla marketing. You see what that is? Guerrilla marketing is exactly that. That's hand-to-hand combat. that's out there getting involved in the community, that's dealing with it. Those are the different options. Obviously you have, flyers, community events, charity events, sponsorships, all that type stuff, anything you get involved with the thing. You have direct response. Another thing, we talked about mail, right? We talked about certified mail. That's direct marketing. That means that you can go in, send that letter, and you have a lead. You don't have to build a team. You don't have to do nothing. You can have a lead. You can decide to do that on Monday and have leads in your loaded up with leads on Friday. You don't have to build a team. You don't have to do anything. That's a piping hot lead. If you can go ahead and go right to your avatar, which in this case would have been the business owner, and have them on your cell phone within 7 days, that's a piping hot lead in the exact industry that you want, right? So we can talk about how we can target that, right? We're going to talk about that more too later. Then we talk about direct mail, TV, radio, etc. So all these things are tools or mechanisms that you can use. None of them are dead. Sure, some of them have a better cost. Some of them are there. But just know these tools are in your arsenal for what it is. I want you to think about that, right? I want you to really and truly think about that. SEO and social. This is a really big one, right? Connected content creation, right? What's the content like? Is it speaking to the avatar? This is constantly evolving. It never changes. It is what it is. Google My Business. When have you done that? Retargeting, social media. Then we get into online reputation. Online reviews are critical. Okay? I myself, it depends. Restaurants are different. Some things are different. Some places, a lot of places, we won't even do it. Some of you can go in and improve the quality of your leads just through your reviews if you're in that type of business, right? So it's something to focus on. Remember something. You can do whatever you want. You can focus on anything you want in your business. You can do any type of marketing that you want, but you can't do them all at once. You can have whatever you want. You just can't have them all at once, right? And the thing is this, is if you build an operating system, if you're scaling your team and you have an operating system, as you develop these into your business and you transfer them to someone, it completely changes how you do it. And now you have it actually functioning without you, right? So that's another conversation. And then we go in there, we talk about paid ads, right? We get in there, we start talking about SEO, social, and we really go in there and start talking about, Meta, you got YouTube, you got TikTok, you got LinkedIn, all the other paid ads that you can do. And, how's that doing? What's it doing? And here's the thing, if you've optimized the current level, you should, sometimes the answer is doing better with what you have. Sometimes the answer is you've optimized where you're at and it's time to add something more. And that's what we're going to walk through here now. So define your dream buyer. This is really and truly, this is a really, really big deal. Who is your dream buyer? Let's clarify exactly who you're marketing to. So often we're worried about losing people that what we ultimately do is we lose the actual person that we want the most, right? So the step one to this is you got to clarify what it is. So it depends on what your offer is, right? Sometimes it just depends. Sometimes it could be entrepreneurs in 1 to 10 million, 1 to 15 million. It could be a different offer for entrepreneurs from 25 to 100 million. You could be looking for direct to consumer. Are you just looking to sell a $20 product? What is the case? What are you looking for? But let's get really clear. Where do those people hang out? What do they do? What do they look like? One of the things in marketing is we can get really niche down, but one thing's for sure is we can look at the content creation and how we dress and what we wear depends on who we attract, right? So some of these things, even myself, right now as we speak, I'm in a new creation, right? It's always a new, every 12 months, you process the analytics, you review the last 12 months, and you make changes. That's business, that's life. If you want to grow, if you want to develop, if you want to change your business. So that's really and truly what it is. You want to attract the right people. That's part of getting those hot, primed, ready to do business leads. I work personally with very few people. I don't work with a lot of people. I make sure that I can help people. I make sure that people are committed to build an operating system for their business that'll help them win back time and help them ultimately scale. And it's work. So the thing is, I have to really make sure that these entrepreneurs have skin in the game. Because if they don't have skin in the game, not only with me, but in their businesses and in their family and in their communities, if they don't, they won't do the work. They won't do what's required to be successful. And when they don't do the work, it ultimately falls back on me, right? Because I signed them up. So I start everything out with the best intention of making sure it's people that I can help. So if you have a good, a service, a product, a digital offer, a coaching, a platform, whatever it may be, a community, whatever it may be, you can't be everything to everybody. There's some people who you simply cannot help, right? That's just a fact. So think about that. I want you to go ahead and do it. It's a really big deal. So keep that in mind, right? So here's the thing. What industry are they in? Let's talk about that. We get paid to solve people's problems. That's what it is. The bigger problems we can solve, the more we can get paid. It's that simple. And it's a really beautiful thing, right? I think the most beautiful thing about entrepreneurship isn't, well, there's a couple things beautiful about it, but that's kind of a sidebar. I think the fact that you can do it on your own terms, the way that you want to do it, to me, that's the best piece of it, right? Then the money is nice. Hey guys, if you found value in this video, share it with somebody in need. Listen, these videos are a series all brought together that can teach you the real life example. So if you liked it, follow the other video. Of course, it's a requirement, but it's really, really nice when you can actually solve people's problems and get paid to help people have a better life, a better business, a better whatever. And I think a lot of times early level entrepreneurs lose focus of that because you get not so hungry. The challenges of being an entrepreneur and just survival takes you away from that. And it kind of goes back to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. But once you achieve that basic level and you've begun to climb and you begin to see things differently, then you really start stepping into the consumer's shoes. And that's when it gets really good. So I want you to really go ahead and think, what are their top 3 daily challenges, right? So go ahead and look at that and how can you solve them, right? It's a really, really big deal. I want you to see that. I want you to think about that. And let's go ahead and do that. Let's keep moving. So let's go ahead and talk about that, right? So you have the people, you have your current leads that you have now. When I'm talking about the leads, I want to go in there and say, what exactly, how many touch points are required? There's a lot of different things here to consider. And I just want to give you some food for thought. If a lead takes 5 times to talk to or 7 times to talk to, and some more expensive items they do. When you get into higher ticket, of course, it's going to take more than one time, right? People are making very big investments. They have to make sure they have to do their due diligence, make sure their investment's protected. This is a different thing. And some of these other things, but there's still a matter of how many touch points before they become an appointment on your calendar, before you have them where you are, whatever the case may be, right? And there's things that you can do. I'm going to give you strategies by the end of this to tell you at the very end, I'm going to give you strategies of exactly how to cut those times down so people convert, right? Not just get the right leads, but also get them to convert. That's the big thing. Because what if you got to touch somebody 7 times or your team has to touch them 7 times versus you can only have 2 touch points? One lead costs you 50, another lead costs you 100. One lead costs you 100, one lead costs you 200, whatever the numbers are. The lead with less touch points is going to be more valuable in most cases because it's less stress and frustration on your team. It's more efficient and you can handle more volume. So whatever you lose in expense, you pick up in the ability to handle volume. So I want you to think about what percentages of your leads are a good fit for your offer. Of course, 100% of the leads are not going to be, but we should constantly strive to reduce them for our good service offer, whatever the case may be. Where do your best leads consistently come from? What objectives are the most common? My big thing is I like, what are their 20 FAQs, their 20 frequently asked questions? That also could be their top 20 objectives. Same thing, right? So which leads waste time? The most time. This is really the thing. A lot of times, part of being a great salesperson or running a great company or being a great leader is you have to be able to identify when somebody's just not a fit or there's somebody that's just wasting time. Not unintentionally, because we want to be here, we want to serve, we want to do these things. That's why we have communities like this. We'll talk about it later because people can they have the opportunity. You can meet them where they are and they can mature. And when they want to get more serious about their business or they want to go a little bit further or they realize they're like, hey, that's my guy, that's my gal. They can help me solve this problem. That's another conversation. But in the meantime, you can still be of service and build your community and give out free value. So, and the other thing is, how can you better pre-qualify? How can you better pre-qualify that lead? I mean, one of the things are, if you need a certain network, if you're looking for a certain demographic or a certain net worth, you got to go where those people are, both in marketing or whatever the case may be. Let's really think about that. So at this point in time, you should be taking some notes. You should be filling out where you should be at right now at this point. Is you should be looking at where are your customers? What's your current advertising that you're using? And what's that look like? You should right now begin to identify some things that aren't working, some things that need attention, some things that, you want to ask questions about, or something that you want to make notes about to be able to do that. Let's make sure that make sure you make the most of this time, right? Because it is. I appreciate you guys being here, but anytime you're investing this time, remember, when the student's ready, the teacher will appear. So you have to be ready for the transformation. And all you have to do, just by taking a piece of pen to paper and taking a note, your subconscious mind is opening up, and you're willing to listen, you're willing to learn. So for those of you that aren't in a habit of taking notes, or aren't in a habit of doing that, or even those that are, let's go ahead right now and let's do it. Let's get the skill in there. Let's get it done, right? Here's the number one thing, guys, and I want you to go ahead and I want you to look at this. What I'm doing right now, okay, great. This is a 7-day free trial offer, and then it goes to whatever, $97 a month, whatever. But essentially, it's free value. The $97 a month is really just a cycle out spam, to be very honest with you, right? Maybe it liquidates an ad spend. We've been working on dialing other ads in. We haven't even been focusing on pumping ads into here because we got other things going on, right? We just have so many things that we're building at once, but this is one of those things we're working on. We're also working behind the scenes to go in to build out this community really robust, and it helps get something in there. But it's essentially a free value community, right? To be able to get, this is one of the things that blows me away, is that when you go in with free value, imagine being able to go ask somebody who's really, I think one of the biggest misconceptions that people have in social media, it's like with somebody like myself, is I'm a real business owner. I see sometimes these comments these people make, and I'm like, they clearly don't have LinkedIn or any Google or anything, because if they had anywhere an ounce of common sense, they can do some due diligence and find out that I'm the real deal, because I've built these companies for the last 30 years. It's not like I went, my business, and I have no fault. There's a lot of people in the coaching space that build businesses coaching. God bless them. I have no problem. I just like to learn from people that have had challenges like me and been in the trenches, right? That's how I've learned. That's how I've won, right? That's what's worked for me, right? So I've been that guy. So that's why I really believe that if you already have a business and you already have something that you're doing, or even if you don't, even if you're starting coaching or whatever, I don't want to knock anybody. I want to encourage everybody. But free value is a really, really good place to start. And it's something that you want to do. And it's also rewarding. And I'll be honest with you, I've got a lot of really, really big ticket clients from free value, right? I believe you lead with value. And also, if you do that and you do it with integrity, that God, the universe, karma just pays you back. And I've always been blessed in abundance on that formula. The universe has rewarded me, God, whatever you want to call it, but goodwill has found me when I practice giving free value. So that's really one of the things. So you've identified who your ideal candidate is at this point, and what you're going to do is you're going to offer them free value. People are like, well, how do I give them value? Listen, if your people show up and they go to events, or they play tennis at a country club, or they go to, whatever it may be, at the church, wherever, show up and pour water if you have to. Goodwill and money will find you. Chances are, if you don't know how to give free value, you're probably not making a lot of money right now anyways, being very open and honest. If you don't, then then it doesn't really matter who it is. It's just a contact sport. Get in the rooms, get with the peoples, get the mentor, and that can be anywhere. You don't have money, you don't have an excuse. A lot of you obviously have businesses and stuff like that. That's not the case, but I'm just giving you a wide scope of things. Sometimes even on a bigger level, right? You can be an entrepreneur doing a couple $1 million a year. You go sit down with somebody like myself doing $100 million. Believe me, I've been the guy and the $2 million guy. And I know what it's like to feel uncomfortable. But the reality is that discomfort's what you want. And if you can get free value, then guess what? You can win. And what happens is when you give it, ultimately at the end of the day, the universe will give it back to you somewhere bigger. Same thing happens to me. I find people that are 30 times more successful than me, and they see what I'm doing and they like it. And they help me out because of it. You know what I mean? So that's from my heart. I believe in that. It's something I'm passionate about. So I wanted to share that with you. Reverse marketing. Okay. This is one of those other things, right? So we go in there, and this isn't as much reverse, but we were talking about So those, some of you maybe caught us later. We talked about how I said, hey, you want to buy businesses, send out a certified letter. Hey, buying XZY businesses for up to $1 million. If you're interested, give me a call. Boom, go in, load it up, send out the letters, and wait for the responses. No agent, no ad spend, nothing. Just straight paying for postage to go directly to business owners. Have it certified so they're forced to sign it, right? And you would ask yourself, go to the municipalities. If it's a licensed business where it's licensed, see where those people are registered. Get a list of all people in those businesses and do it. Reverse marketing is, here's how I reverse market. I go to people who have transacted with me. I find those customers that we're talking about that are my ideal candidate. And what I do is if I was going to spend $10,000 on marketing, I just give the money directly to them. Meaning, if I have people, I go to my CRM or I go to my list, whatever the case is, however you're doing it, and people, good customers who transacted with me that I solved problems for them in the past, and for whatever reason, they were fixed, they were good, and we kind of fell off, I'll just call them up. Why wouldn't I want to give, if I was going to give somebody the benefit, why wouldn't I want to give my best clients something for free to get them back into my ecosystem? If they already transacted with me and I know they transact more than the average client, it's worth giving them a gift or a marketing or something for free to get them back in, right? Because I know it's like, it doesn't matter. I'm going to give it away anyways. Instead of spending 10 grand on marketing, I'll just give 10 grand back to them. Another way to reverse market when you're looking at this is wherever, the thing is it's really simple, right? Like you go in and you want names and numbers, right? And you're like, hey, I want high net worth people. I'm an investment advisor, or I own an investment. I'm looking to raise money. You literally go to whatever country club you can and get into the nicest country club when they have an event, whatever the case may be. And you go in and you come up with a nice gift. And everybody comes in, and when you give them the gift, they register and you have their name and number. These are all high net worth people. You have people what it is. So the reality is if you want to get right to it, and you have trained, and you're a trained salesperson, and you want to get right to the avatar, wherever they are, you can meet them where they are. You can do whatever it is, whatever you want to do, right? Absolutely, wherever they are. I mean, I can tell you, it's just one of those things. You can go in and close $100,000 deals. It's easier to close a $100,000 deal than it is a $15,000 deal or a $20,000 deal. And I'm going to tell you why. It's because the $100,000 buyer knows what they need. And when they find somebody, they know the buying cues of it to where they hear the signs and they're like, okay, this guy or gal, they can help me. I'll spend 100 grand with them. But the lower ticket buyer doesn't know what success is like yet. So all their doubts and their insecurities, they place onto you. So one of the things that you got to look at is you're going in and you're doing these things. Know that if you haven't played in these big arenas before, know that if you have the specialized skill, meaning you can really solve their problem, then go at it. And there's many other things that you can do, right? That you can get involved in events or whatever the case may be. There's so many things. You can go show up at a car show and give away stuff. Give something away that requires them to give you a name and a number to get it. You can go in, hey, here you guys. Hey guys, how you doing, man? We got the first, next, whatever. Got 50 people today. We're giving out $20 smoothie cards in. If you can come in and you can spin this wheel and it lands on 7. And people come in and look at it and you're like, all right, well, you only get a $13 smoothie card. And they do it and it's fun and it's exciting and you got all their information. And when they're spinning the wheel at these places, you're making it fun. I got a guy that I spent $250,000 with. And I went in and I saw this guy and I was walking and he's like, hey man. I say, yeah, I'm walking a convention floor. And he's like, spin this wheel once, man, see if you win. And he was like, here, I'll give you $100. Just even before you spend, here's $100 cash. He gave me $100. I was like, all right, man, what do you want me to do? Like, this guy gave me $100. It worked. It stopped me. Next week, I'm signing up for $250,000. It ended up being a bad deal because COVID came and I lost out on it. COVID literally came and I lost that $250,000. But it doesn't change the fact that the tactic worked. And the reality is, had it been a good market, it would have worked great. It was the very first 90 days of COVID. So that is what it is. So I want you to really think about reverse marketing. Like, there is no way. You either find a way or you find an excuse. And reverse marketing is something at this point, I want you guys to all write down something that you can do. Where's your avatar? Where's your ideal client? Where are they? What can you do to do it? What can you do to do it? Find out where they're at, find out what they like, and get at it. Upsells. Here's the other thing. We totally don't utilize the leads that we have, and this is upsells, cross sells, even we can get into referral, right? This is really probably the biggest thing. If you're listening, I tell my guys, I'm training these guys, and the biggest problem that I see is they're two mouths and one ear. If you're listening, if people have problems, you know, one of the big things is, and here's the thing, we're just looking, we're not saying upsell. I don't want to sound sleazy. What I want to do is I want to be solutionary in the fact that when somebody comes in and they have a problem, and I know I'm going to operate with the highest level of integrity and solve it, I have a mission to get in front of them. I have a responsibility, because there's a very good probability that they meet a better salesman than me, and it's a sham, or it don't help them solve the problem. So if I've already done business and I know where they're at, and I can meet them where they are and I can solve it, I can upsell it. So who do you have in your ecosystem right now that has a problem? Hey man, what other value can I add to your business? What other value can I add to your family? What other value can I add to you? What other value can I add to your team? What is it? Like, I don't want you to spend anything with me if I can't help you, but if it was an investment, if it was something that you spent money with me and you either won back time, won back freedom, won back, made more, it was an investment, you got a bigger return on it. And then the other thing is when we go in here, so we brought all that together, and this is what I'm going to finish with. If wherever that customer is, what do? Do they watch TV? Do they listen to the radio? Are they on TikTok? Are they on LinkedIn? Like, have you even done the research to know what your demographic is of your ideal client? Then you got to find out which platform do they transact on the most, because then I hear people all the time like, oh, LinkedIn's expensive. Well, what if LinkedIn's twice as much? And it's not, but what if LinkedIn's twice as much, but you talk to the people 2 times, and on every other lead you got to talk to 7? Which one's worth more money to you? Let's be honest. Most of you aren't making the 7 follow-up calls. Most of you will lose in the sales game because you won't follow up 7 times. You'll never achieve your true potential because of it. And so we got to know as humans what our strengths and weaknesses are. We can go in and look at those things. So when you look at them on those platforms and how you're doing it, you can become the architect of your life, of your business, of your team. And if you have an operating system and you're looking at this information, you're communicating it on a weekly basis, and you're looking at the profit margins and the conversions, that's another conversation for another day. But if you're really serious about business, an operating system pulls everything together and basically has it so that you have the capability to duplicate what you're doing. New people can come in and do it, but they got to know it's working. How's somebody else going to handle your ads, or how are you going to scale a teammate if you don't know these things? So, hey guys, if you found value in the video today and you'd like to see more of them, like, subscribe, or share now.